Let's be honest. If Donald Trump was actually a participant himself on The Apprentice, then he would have to fire himself. And why? Because he'd be fired for playing bait and switch, playing a shell game, being purely manipulative and full of it to Donald Trump himself. And don't we all wish that Trump, when it comes to the things he claims about his toughness and America first, if he had to look in the mirror, when every single thing he has made gets made in China, and yet he pretends to the American public, to his base, that somehow he's going to be the tough guy. And in this breaking story, you're about to find out how he is so not the tough guy. And everything that he does is performative as opposed to tangibly substantial. He doesn't do it. I'm going to show that to you in a few seconds, but this is him just literally the other day talking tough about what he's going to do to China, and, China's got to figure out how to do it. Take a quick look at this. I'm going to show you the breaking story in a few seconds. Here you go.
What was happening to us on trade, not only with, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also, but somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable. Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States. That's not right. And now I've reversed it. It's for a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day. And somebody had to do it. Nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. It's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well. And they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal.
China's a proud people. They want to make a deal, but they just don't know how to do it yet. Really, Donald? How about you, Mr. Art of the Deal, in this breaking story? What kind of deal did you actually make? Or did you make a facade of a deal, and then the truth of your real deal, where it really matters in America in terms of our pocketbooks, did you actually completely emasculate your own deal and take care of your high-tech billionaire boys while also not really punching China in the nose? What's the truth, Donald? Well, here's the damn truth. Check out the breaking story of the exceptions to his tariffs on China. Here it is. Breaking story. Phones, other electronics exempt from new tariffs, Trump administration says. The Trump administration announced late Friday night that the smartphones, computers, and other electronic components are exempt from reciprocal tariffs days after the United States imposed the highest levies on foreign goods in a century. The directive issued by U.S. Customs and Border Protection lists nearly 24 exemptions, including chips and smartphones. The announcement comes after Beijing responded to President Donald Trump's escalating trade war with a 125% tariff on all U.S. goods early Friday. In quotes, if the U.S. insists on substantively damaging China's interests, China will firmly retaliate and fight to the end, China's State Council said in a statement. For makers of electronics, particularly Apple, the break on tariffs is likely to be a huge relief. Apple has faced the prospect of new import tax of roughly $700 or more on each $1,000 iPhone imported from China. Based on tariff rates, the White House increased to at least 145%. At least for now, Apple won't have to decide whether to take a hit to its profits or possibly raise prices significantly for iPhone buyers. The exemption for Chinese-made phones and laptops may also raise questions about why some U.S. businesses were singled out for tariff breaks and others like apparel and furniture retailers must still pay a whopping tariff on Chinese-made goods. Apple did not have an immediate comment. The Consumer Technology Association, a trade group whose members include Apple, Lenovo, and Samsung, also had no immediate comment. The exemptions appear to undermine Trump's economic revolution that seeks to move high-tech supply chains and part suppliers inside the U.S. and to employ American workers. Last weekend, Howard Lutnick told CBS that, in quotes, the army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones. That kind of thing is going to come to America. Take a second, and by chance, if you're a parent, just think about maybe one of your children doing something egregious when they were 13 or 14 years old, and you go, okay, you're grounded. You can't do blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah for the next 2 weeks. Except for you're still allowed to do and. And all 5 of those things are the things that are your most favorite things to do. That's what the game Trump is playing, because it literally is not the art of the deal. It's the art of the con. It's the art of the steal. He puts out statements to create visual sound bites for Fox News, to run out to all of the Fox slathering lovers of Donald Trump, so they have the sound bites buried, inoculated in their head. And then what he really does is he lets China completely off the hook for all of the major components and major things that Americans truly care about buying. And yet, he only does it for one industry, high tech. He screws all of the other retailers in all of the other industries, like hats. You know, the MAGA hats they make in China. You know, all the ties that Trump did that are made in China. He only does it for the segment that's going to feed him and his boys the most money. And this is what the American presidency has come down to. You guys keep smiling and keep breathing, but stay frosty.